what's going on YouTube? This is Sanitary 103. Thank you for watching another video. In this discussion, I want to talk about starvation mode. Now, more often than not, desperate times calls for desperate measures, and unfortunately, some people take it to the extreme. A lot of people want to get slim, they feel the pressure to look good, they want to fit in that new dress, etc., etc., and they will often starve themselves, which is completely unhealthy and dangerous. Now, it seems like common sense not to starve yourself, but unfortunately, it's more common than you think. I'm often a regular on answers.yahoo.com, and I see a lot of females, especially a lot of teens to girls in their early 20s, wanting to take this dangerous route by starving themselves. So I want to get rid of that notion, or at least try to educate you and the viewers to make sure you don't take that route. So what happens in starvation mode? When your body hasn't eaten and gotten enough nutrients for a long period of time, your metabolism just completely slows down. It's basically your body's way of trying to survive. When your body hasn't received food, it doesn't know when it's going to get its next meal. And when that happens, your metabolism slows down, and the food that you do take in, your body's going to want to hold on to it for dear life. Now, if you know anything about diet, health, and fitness, you know that when your metabolism slows down, you don't burn as many calories at rest. And so this is actually counterproductive to losing weight when you starve. Now, granted, when you starve, you will lose weight, but eventually you'll have to actually eat less and less and less to keep losing weight because your metabolism is not getting any faster, which ultimately is even more dangerous. The other thing that starving does is that it's very counterproductive to building muscle. Now, a lot of females don't want to build muscle and they don't care, so they might be disregarding this reason, but I feel like it needs to be discussed. Basically, if you notice, a lot of bodybuilders, guys are trying to get big, they're constantly feeding their muscle every 2 to 4 hours because they don't want their muscle to break down. And if you haven't been eating for a long period of time, it's gonna eat away at your carbs, it's gonna eat away at your fats, that's gonna eat away at your much needed protein and your muscles. The other thing that starving yourself can do is basically it makes you miserable. You know, it's gonna mess up your social life. You're gonna feel lethargic all the time, tired, thirsty, crabby, moody. The list just goes on and on. I could just talk about it for days. Definitely not good. The other thing that starving can do is that eventually it can lead, or I shouldn't say could, it will lead to a binge. Now, I speak from experience from this, but basically when your body has not eaten enough food for a long period of time, eventually it's going to say, the hell with it, give me food, and I'm going to overcompensate, and ultimately I'm probably going to even put on more weight. Real quick story, for people that have seen my profile, I used to wrestle back in high school. During my sophomore year, there was a big tournament and I lost, I was pretty small, but I had to lose like 12 pounds in a week or something. A lot of it was water weight, but long story short, after I made the weight, I wrestled terribly, I had no energy. But needless to say, the original weight that I was prior to the tournament, I actually gained about 8 pounds in a month after, because I was just binge eating, because my body just wanted the food and it would not say stop. The other thing that isn't as obvious is that when you don't eat for a long period of time, your stomach actually shrinks. Now, your stomach is very flexible. If you see those competitive eaters, for people that don't know, competitive eaters will actually have gallons of water and they'll chug it to expand their stomach. But conversely to that, your stomach can expand, but it can also get smaller. So when you haven't been eating for a long period of time, your stomach will shrink down to about this much. Another real quick story, don't want to ramble too much, but you know, after I made weight during my junior or senior year when I was dieting really hard, I was envisioning eating all this food all at once, but guess what? After a whole week of barely eating anything, as soon as I weighed in, when I ate something, I would get full, and it was a terrible feeling. My stomach felt like it was in knots. It literally felt like somebody was having it in a stranglehold. And I could only eat a couple of pieces of bread at a time and I would get full. I'd have to wait a few hours and eat again. After a few days, it did get back to normal, but that definitely has a lot of wear and tear on your intestinal tract and your stomach overall. So that's another bad thing. So what I recommend instead of starving is to eat every 2 to 4 hours. I mentioned this time and again, and I'll say it again. Eat smaller protein-based meals every 2 to 4 hours. So you keep the metabolism going and your body doesn't go into this starvation mode. So that's about it. Thank you for watching my video again, and we'll do it again next time.